Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Acts, chapter 26, verses 1 through 23. Paul, if you remember, has been in the custody of the Roman governor, Festus. King Agrippa has come down, and now he says, I want to hear this guy. And so Paul is up to speak. And Paul begins his defense against the accusations against him. And he reminds his listeners, hey, I was a good legalist just like the rest of you. I conformed to the strictest sect of Pharisees. And he goes on to say, the whole reason I'm on trial is because I have hope that God actually is going to fulfill his promises. And he says to them, why is it so incredible to think that the living God that we worship could raise the dead? Why is it outside the realm of possibilities, right? And so Paul goes back and he says, listen, I was convinced that I should do everything possible within my power to oppose the name and the authority of Jesus of Nazareth. He said, I was convinced to be an opponent of Jesus Christ. And he said, I was given authority by the same chief priests who are sitting here to go and persecute, to put many of the people of the Lord in prison, to punish them, torture them, and to cast my vote to put them to death. And Paul says this, I was obsessed with persecuting them. He was obsessed with hating them. And so he says, that's who I was. And then God did something, Christ did something that only Christ could do. And he said, I was on my way to Damascus to go on with my obsessed hating of Christians, to go arrest some when Christ encountered me. And he asked me, why do you persecute me? Why do you hate me? And so Christ says to Paul, I am sending you to open the eyes of Jews and Gentiles. And you got to imagine that when he said that he was being sent to these pagan, unbelieving, far from God Gentiles, that the Jewish Pharisees, these legalists, that they just cringed. And he says, the Lord Jesus Christ said, I'm sending you to open their eyes, to turn them from darkness to the light, from the power of Satan to the power of God. And why? So that they can receive the forgiveness of sin and that they can join those who are sanctified, those who are made holy in me, those who have a whole new life in me. And so Paul says, and that's what I've done. I've been preaching for people to turn to God and walk away from the dark ways that they've been living. And all I'm saying is what's already been said in the law and the prophets that's been prophesied about the Messiah. The Messiah was to suffer, die, and be raised from dead. It's exactly what he says the Old Testament says. And so the Messiah brings a message of light to both God's covenant people and to these pagan Gentiles. That is his defense, God's hope of the resurrection. What's your defense in a world that rejects God? Thanks, my friends. Have a blessed day.